What has the week been like for you? Cool. I'm seeing your question here in the chat. What are the startup costs for the food business? Oh man, that is a huge question because there are so many pieces. It depends on what you're doing, right? Are you doing a beverage? Are you doing a granola? Are you doing something that needs scientific backing for it? I've seen people launch with like bootstrapped minimal money. I also see people launch all the time with like launching with $100,000. So it really, really depends on your business, on where you're at, on what you are looking to bring to life. What's minimum? It's such a nuanced question because we want to make sure we have the right packaging. I don't know what your packaging is. I've seen people do it for like a couple grand for sure, but that definitely varies and goes up from there. Packaging is a huge, huge piece of that, right? The more you order, the less that unit cost is going to be as well. So this comes into some of the mindset pieces we were talking about yesterday, where sometimes we're like, okay, I'm just going to order a smaller amount at the beginning and for a certain period of time that might make sense. And then it's going to get to a point in your business where it's going to make a lot more sense. Maybe you can reduce costs significantly if you order a larger amount at once. I'm working with someone right now who has a meal replacement company. And for her initial batches, she has been buying all the ingredients just directly from the the retail market to make it, to help validate this. Does this work? Does this make sense? We're getting people on 30-day trials for her product, seeing what this does for them. But now that we are in the full production, we're getting co-packers on board, we're working on like that next scale of things, and she hasn't even fully launched yet, right? Like for her, we're going immediately into full scale production with co-packers, reaching out to suppliers. Her costs are like drastically lower. She was like, I was literally paying like $25 a container for this, and I can buy it direct from the retailer for $3, right? So much different. She needs to order a larger quantity. So this is why I say it's so nuanced, because it's like, are you willing to buy a pallet of your ingredient to bring your overall unit cost down? And yes, you're going to spend more on that pallet, but your unit cost is going to come way down. It's going to allow you to actually scale a lot more, right? So there's so many different pieces, but it is not a business that requires zero money, as I'm sure all of you guys know, right? There's packaging, there's labeling, there's listing fees, there's photography fees, there's websites. This is an industry that you do need some funds to invest in, especially because if we're in retail, that was a great reminder that we are literally sitting next to brands that spend a lot of money on all of this, right? Not to say that we can't do it on a bootstrap budget, but you need to be willing to invest in your business for it to stand out and have the impact and be able to grow. You're going to have to pay vendors or retailers to get on their store shelves. They're going to want you to do demos. That costs money. You're going to want to do demos. If you're thinking that you can run a food business successfully without investing any money, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to grow and move beyond the very early stages. So just want to be totally transparent with that. Yeah. Yes, Vicky. Yeah. Money is needed, right? I know you just got your product tested. Like that requires money for it, for sure. That's not something you can do on like $500. It's just not. Okay. Fumi, you were bed rest yesterday. Oh, I hope you're feeling better today. Still here, but you can't miss the drum roll duties again. Exactly. Thank you. We need that drum roll. I need that. Yes. Thank you. It's been a great productive week, and learning from you. It's been great. Burnt out, but we know. Yeah, good. I'm glad this has been a productive week, even though I know you're not feeling the greatest. Congrats to you for like showing up, even if you're not feeling the greatest. Number one, the drum roll duties. We need that. Number two, you're showing up even if you're not feeling the greatest, getting the information to help you grow, which is fantastic. So great. Leslie, been a busy week traveling. I launched with little funds. I was awarded 1K from a local Shark Tank in Denver. Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of funding for food, for the food industry, right? For lots of industry, for entrepreneurship, there is funding, right? Mm, so definitely go on pitch competitions, definitely search for grants where you can get that. I'm working with someone right now and they wanted to work together and they were like, hey, there's this grant that I can get. Can I apply this to working with you? And all she had to do was fill out a quick form and boom, boom, within like a week, she got approved to get all those fundings, which is great. Hello, hello. Over on Facebook. Hey, Robert. Hey, Phyllis. Good to see you guys. Yes, it was the branding piece. Oh, I'm glad the branding piece really resonated with you, Phyllis. I saw in your comment from yesterday's homework too that was a big piece for you as well. So that's good. And Robert, you placed in 2 pitch competitions. That's awesome, right? Not only are pitch competitions a great way to get some funds in, it helps you get everything together, right? It helps you get everything together, make sure that you're pitching it appropriately, make sure that you are coming. It forces you to kind of level up in some ways for certain things, right? Bailey, the boot camp is helping me focus, which will lead my company to the greatest success. Yes, 100%. That focus is so key. I know there's a million different things that you could be working on. So understanding the key pieces to help you focus and move forward is great. Glad that's been super helpful for you, Bailey. And Vicky, yeah, the week has been awesome. Awesome. I'm really glad the week has been very beneficial for you guys. There have been people who have come out of this boot camp who I chat with months later. Actually, oh, Karen, you're on here. Karen, I'm thinking of you here, where like, months later, got a whole bunch of different retailers and like really have changed the trajectory of pieces in the business, which is awesome. That fire that is getting lit, hopefully this week within you all, take that fire and run with it and let that continue to propel you into closing 2023 strong and making 2024 as successful as possible. All right. One of those ways you can take all of this, you can run with it. I've shared the opportunity as well. If you want to continue to have this fire going, continue to have regular sessions on your calendar so that you make sure you don't miss this momentum. You don't lose this momentum. You continuously have that focus and know how to go forward. The Food Founder Inner Circle is accepting new members until Monday. And with that, you do get the Food Brands That Sell course, which is yours forever. I know someone asked yesterday, what happens after the 6 months? So real quick, the Food Founder Inner Circle is 6 months that you get ongoing calls every single month. So we have a live Q&A session, so you can come with all your questions, get the nitty-gritty details specifically for your business on those group calls. We also have guest experts coming in each and every single month to help you get set up in various aspects of your business. So coming up in the new year in 2024, we have someone coming to talk about how do you actually get listed into Whole Foods. He is a broker for Whole Foods, and he is going to walk you through what they actually look like, what they actually look for, how do we actually get set up there, what that looks like. We have someone walking through all about getting set up for co-packing. How do you actually show that you are ready? When are you ready for a co-packer? How do you show a co-packer that you're a good partner with them? How do you work with a co-packer and protect yourself, protect your formula as you move into a co-packer and get set up to help you really optimize your business with that? It's a huge stage for next stage of growth. We also have someone coming in talking about user-generated content, and we're going to be doing brand reviews within it as well. And we've got a whole bunch of other great speakers coming in throughout those 6 months. Each and every single month, we've got someone coming in doing an exclusive training just for you guys inside of there. One of the other things that we do is we do every single month, we do planning and review sessions. So how do we make sure that we are continuously moving forward towards the goals that you have in your business, right? So that is a key piece that we're working on. That happens each and every single month. And then we also have our online community, which is a private community. Anyone who's been part of it before, we now have a different private community outside of Facebook so that you can stay really, really focused on everything in there. And then, of course, you get the Food Brands That Sell course that is yours as well. So I see a couple questions here and I want to make sure. So Cassie, what time are the live calls? So calls are going to be at 12 o'clock Eastern time. So I know before you used to come during lunch break. So hopefully that still works with you. If you're going to join again, yeah, they'll be at 12 o'clock Eastern time. So that's 9 o'clock Pacific time. And then Central time, I'm sorry, I think that's 11 o'clock. I get mixed up with all the different time zones. So yes, they'll be 12 o'clock. We do them on Tuesdays as well. We do them on Tuesdays. After 6 months, what is the cost of the inner circle? Yeah, after 6 months, there is an opportunity to join the inner circle at a reduced rate, because I like to reward people who continuously take action and continuously move forward. So after that 6 months, there is an opportunity that you do get a discount to stay within the inner circle, and it'll be for that next 6 months. But for right now, it is just open for that 6 month period. And then at the end of that, you'll get a note to be able to enroll at a reduced rate for that. And then you can keep that reduced rate forever. Hey, Koti, good to see you. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. I know yesterday that was one of the questions, what happens after the 6 months? Oh yeah, so I wanted to answer that too. You get to keep, the course is yours forever, right? The course is yours forever. All of the bonuses are yours forever. So you're going to get a copy of Branding Beyond Logos, the book. You're going to get these sell sheet templates. Those are yours. You get the brand strategy checklist. That's yours. Also, everybody who joins, regardless of when you join, next week we are doing our annual review and annual planning session. So that is coming up on Thursday next week. So enrollment for the inner circle closes on Monday. And so we'll have Monday will be your opportunity, your last opportunity to join. Thursday, we have our annual planning session and review. And then Friday, we're going to do just a welcome call, kickoff call, start to dive into your businesses, start to introduce you to everyone else that you're going to be hanging out with week after week for the next 6 months. So you'll get an opportunity to connect with everyone as well and get yourself set up. If you want to start digging into pieces, you can start digging into pieces before the new year even starts and before our first session happens on the first Tuesday of January. And then if you ever do miss any of the sessions, all the recordings are always available for you inside of our private portal. And if you have questions in advance, but you're not going to be able to make it, no problem. You can always leave your questions, tag it. I can answer it right in our private portal or answer it on the call so I can dive in a little bit deeper. Those were some of the questions that I had. Some of the other questions that came up yesterday, I think those were the big ones that came up. So if you guys have any other questions, let me know. I know people are wondering about what happens afterwards, timing. I did get some questions about, is this for me because I'm at the early stages? So that's a great question. And on the flip side, is this for me if it is like not, if I'm way further down the road? So the food brands that sell course and the inner circle, they are designed for businesses that are, I would say, 1 million less, right? I know that's a really big range, but it actually can happen quite quickly once you get into a certain number of stores and we get into the right stores that you can get that. So it is great if you are just getting set up because it's going to walk you through the fundamentals, these principles to make sure that you don't need to come back and like, oh, shoot, I didn't figure out my pricing properly. And now I'm selling in a store and not making money, which I have seen more times than I would like to say. We're going to make sure that your finances are set up so that you're making money in the appropriate accounts. We can have the right accounts set up. We go through the selling aspect. How do you make sure you're selling properly? How do we get set up from a marketing perspective? All those different elements. Even if you're at the early stages, this is really great. I've had people join before that are like, I don't actually know what I'm going to sell. Like, I know I have this idea, but it's not 100% flushed out. There is a whole section within the course, the Food Brands That Sell course, that walks you through how to evaluate what is a good product for the market, right? So how do we actually validate that product? Is there actually a true opportunity here? how do we potentially pivot what we're doing to get a larger piece of the pie that is available within your category. So there's a whole section in that, which is really key. And then on the flip side, if you have been in it for some time, or you're already in, 50, 100, even 1,000 stores, it's like, how do we get to that next level? What the great piece is that those fundamental pieces are there. And then obviously our one-on-one calls, I'm able to dive in on those different pieces, help you refine your pitches, help you refine who you're going forward to, how you're pitching, how do we get increased velocity, how you increase your sales through marketing, all of these different pieces. So absolutely applicable on both sides of this equation, regardless of where you're at with this. Okay, I see some questions. Okay, does the course cover production of food in India and options to sell in the US? No. So we focus on US and Canada only, really. That's our big piece. Again, it can be kind of applied in different areas. I'm not familiar with the Indian market, so I don't dive into that because I wouldn't be able to provide you the best guidance on that. Do I access to discuss with you as part of Inner Circle on a day-and-day basis? Are there 4 live sessions per month? So there's always 3 live sessions a month. We have a Q&A session, we have our planning and review session, and then we have our expert guest training. So those 3 sessions are always happening each and every single month. And then from month to month, we'll sometimes do some bonus trainings depending on what's needed with everyone. If I'm doing another training that is like a paid training for a group, anyone who's in the Inner Circle always gets a free ticket to that. So you guys get like the VIP to everything. On a day-to-day basis, so there's a portal where you can ask any questions. If you're working on something, you have a question that comes up, there is a portal. All you need to do is tag me in it, and then I get a notification and I can go back in and have a discourse with you on there. That is a big piece. Definitely use that portal as much as possible. Great to get feedback from other people as well. I know someone has been using it to be like, hey, I'm updating my labeling. Here, can I get feedback from people? And so people will share feedback. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll record my screen and walk through it, boom, 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 for you, so that you have that. And then on our live call, then you can get, deeper feedback outside of that as well. How can Indian products enter the Canadian market? Yeah, I'm not an expert on exporting, unfortunately, especially from the Indian market. I've helped people go from Canada to the US to Canada, but I'm certainly not an export expert. So that isn't an area that I can provide you context with on there. Does it have a list of attorneys for labels? No, it doesn't, because we work with people all over North America. There's attorneys all over. That would be a very extensive list. So we have people in the course that are from Canada and the US. So we have resources always for both markets, but it's not for each and every single aspect. Chances are someone in the group can be like, hey, this is the attorney that I used. Here you go and chat with this person. That can really, really help you for sure. So that is a key piece. And we do provide like, hey, go and submit you're going to want to submit your label here for review. This is how you're going to want to do that. Again, all in the North American market. Just seeing if there's any other questions over on Facebook. Cool. Yeah. If you guys have anything, let me know. I'm going to try my best. Oh, okay, cool. So I think those are all the questions. If you guys have any others, feel free to throw them in. Again, the Food Founder Inner Circle is open until Monday. You can go to foodfoundersuccess.com. Mackenzie can throw a link over in the chat as well. You can just click on that. You can join directly. Reminder that the amazing bonus of having a brand review of your label, your packaging, and your website expires at the end of the day today. So if you join before the end of day today, then that is yours. I'm going to go and deep dive into all those different aspects. You can join between now and end of day Monday, but that audit bonus will be gone at the end of day today. So if that is of interest to you, I would say definitely jump on that so that you can get that because I can go in, provide you some additional feedback, Just make sure that you're really crystal clear on your brand, on your packaging, what maybe needs to adjust there. Same with your website. How do you maybe adjust this to drive more sales from this and communicate your brand? So that is yours if you join before end of day today. So I'll leave it at that. We can talk, if you guys have more questions, definitely leave it in there. The cost, if you haven't been on the page, it's $2,000 for the 6 months, or you can do a payment plan of $397 for the 6 months. Now, I know this is not an insignificant amount of money for some of you. For some of you, you're like, no brainer. I know this is going to make me a ton of money. That's great. I know this is not an insignificant amount of money at the beginning. And that's for 2 reasons, right? Like, number one, I know it can make you so much money in your business. So the value is, it's great value in terms of what you can actually get with making your business succeed. On the flip side, also with that is, oftentimes, if we're not investing in things that are pushing us a little bit, we sometimes don't always show up the same way that we could, right? And so this actually forces people to, hey, I paid for this, I'm invested in this, I'm going to show up to my sessions, right? Pretty much everyone always attends our sessions on Tuesdays. It's very rare. Sometimes people have work things and other pieces that come up, but people show up. And if you show up, then you get the results. So it kind of is a way of like forcing people to get stronger results. I use myself as an example. Like, I live in a condo building. We have a gym downstairs. I could go to the gym for free. Do I go to the gym for free? It's really easy for me to convince myself not to go for whatever reason. On the flip side, I have a gym membership that has classes that I can book and I can just attend to. And I know, number one, I'm paying for this, I better go. And number two, I've got classes that are set up in my calendar. And I'm like, I have this commitment, I'm going to show up. I don't miss those classes because it's in my calendar. So it's a way to kind of like hack ourselves to get the results. If I want to, for me, I exercise, it gives me energy, it makes me feel strong. Those are the results that I'm looking for, but I don't go to the gym that's downstairs for free. Who cares if it's free? I'm not getting the result that I want at the end of the day, right? Versus me paying, I'm happy to pay to go so that I actually get the result that I want. So it is a little bit of a stretch. I get that, especially at the beginning phases. But is it going to help you make sure that you're showing up? Is it going to help make sure that you're going through the lessons? Absolutely. It is going to force you to do those things a little bit more, just from, you being like, hey, I really want to get my money's worth out of this. Absolutely. Right. So that's the piece. And then again, coming back to the value, it's like, let's say, on the low end, you get into 5 stores and you've got 3 SKUs selling at each of those products. And let's say you sell 12 units of those each and every single week. So, 5 stores times 3 SKUs gives us 15 units in those stores. And then we can sell 12 a week in each of those. That's 180 a week times 52 weeks a year. That's 9,000, just over 9,000 units, just from, let's say, 5 additional stores. Let's say your product's $8, that's $75,000 of revenue right there, right? So I know that that's possible. I know for some of you guys, you're going to go way, way beyond that. I know for some of you guys, you're going to get that and you're going to be like, yes, this is amazing, right? But the piece of the course and with the inner circle, it is going to guide you through how do you actually make that possible, right? And that's just if we're getting in 5 stores, 12 units a week. Imagine you get into 100 stores, right? That is life-changing for a lot of people, right? That gives a lot of people the opportunity to leave their corporate jobs that they don't want to be in, or their day jobs that they're in. That gives people the ability to spend more time with their family. Maybe you can hire some pieces out. If you're doing all the pieces, you can have someone else do the pieces that maybe you're not great at. And you can spend the time on what you're really fantastic at in your business. And you can spend that time with your family or doing pieces that you really love to do in life, right? That's why we're really doing anything in business is, okay, fine, getting in new stores. Yes, that's what I want. Yes, I want to sell more from my website, but like, why does any of that even matter? Is the question that you want to ask yourself, right? Like, why does that matter? Is that for spending more time with my family? Is that for being able to go on a nice vacation? What does that look like for you, right? And for a lot of people, it's both for you and your family aspects. And what I love about the food industry is for so many people, it's not just this individual piece, it is for the community as well. Gosh, I can really make an impact on my community with this. Maybe I can make a bigger donation to my community. Maybe I can be a shining star in my community of like showing people what's possible, right? I can help change people's eating habits and help give people time back in their life, which is what my business really does. So that is a huge, huge piece. And that's why you guys are doing it, right? That's the real reason. So if you don't know your big why, I would spend some time trying to figure that out, because chasing the stores, chasing the online sales, chasing the money, doesn't actually light your soul on fire the same way as I want to make this impact in my community. I want to make this impact on the world. I want to make this impact in my own life, in my family's life. Those are the pieces that actually light us up. So if you haven't figured that out for yourself, I definitely deep dive into that. The Branding Beyond Lola's book dives into that at the very beginning of it as well. And then there is a piece of that in the Food Brands That Sell course as well, so that you can get really crystal clear on the why behind everything that you are doing. Really, really key piece. Okay, so let's dive in. So today we're going to talk about 5 costly mistakes that we want to avoid inside of our business. So inside of our business, what does that look like? All right. So we're going to go over a few different things here in terms of what do we want to avoid and what do we want to make sure that we do to go past that. So the first piece here, really our big costly mistake, is missing opportunities in our business, right? So I look at this especially, and we talked about this a little bit earlier this week, in terms of if you don't secure this shelf placement when, let's say, a store is doing a review, the larger stores do reviews at a very specific time of the year, and they're going to take in all the different brands. They're going to evaluate you against everyone else who's trying to compete for that shelf space. And then they're going to decide on the best fit that they're going to rent out that space to, right? Like what we talked about on Wednesday. Who are they renting that space out to? They're going to decide on a brand, and then that brand will probably show up in shelves for some of the big ones 8 months later, right? So like highly climactic, you get listed and then 8 months later you get to deliver, right? And then you get the sales in. So for the bigger accounts, that's how it works. For smaller ones, we can get in a lot faster. But you are going to, if we are, let's say, pitching to get into an account, big account or small account, they are evaluating during that time period, am I going to make space on the store shelf for this product, right? So if we miss that opportunity, maybe because our packaging isn't standing out and they're not seeing that this is a brand that is really going to drive sales. If we aren't able to clearly communicate the information that they need in terms of how your product is going to make them money and new money in their business, we miss that opportunity because they might go with someone else. If you don't have the financial pieces figured out to be able to, number one, have a price point that is attractive to their customers, and number two, sell the product to them at a price point that makes sense for their bottom line, then chances are they're going to go with someone else, right? So these are all lost opportunities by simply not having some of our ducks in a row. And they're painful opportunities sometimes, especially for the larger accounts, because let's say, I've worked with someone who really wanted to get into Walmart, and the product was a great fit for Walmart. The first year, she didn't get into Walmart. She was like, dang, I really wanted to get into those stores, right? And she knew she would have to wait a whole other year to be able to pitch to get into Walmart. That is a whole year of lost sales. That is a whole year of them putting something else in that place, and Walmart shoppers being able to say, oh, maybe this product really meets my need. I'm going to stay loyal to this brand instead, right? So all of these lost opportunities are really just time. They're like lost time in our business. And that is something that I think about often. Someone had shared that with me once, and it really stuck with me. So I'll share it back with you in terms of like, that is our only non-renewable resource in the world, right? We can go out there, you can make more money, right? You can, like, that is a possibility. You can go and make more money. You cannot ever get your time back. You can never, ever, ever get your time back, both from how you're living your life and from, hey, the year that I just didn't have the opportunity to be on that store shelves. So really figuring out a lot of these pieces sooner than later is costing you a lot from a time perspective and from a monetary perspective, because we're missing out on that long-term growth that is available. So when you are faced with different pieces in your business, I really want you to start to look at things in terms of what is the opportunity on this and what is the cost on this, right? Is the opportunity in front of me to pitch to, you know, this store that maybe has 10 locations, right? Am I really set up to win at that? Yes, no, maybe. How do I make sure that I make the most of this opportunity so that I don't lose it? Maybe it's going to require you to invest in demos. Maybe it's going to require you to, you know, rework your entire sell sheet. Maybe it's going to require you to rework some of the financial pieces. But on the other side of that is, wow, I just got into these 5 locations that, like, with this chain of stores, and they're selling my product on a consistent basis. That then gives me more revenue in my business, gives me, heck, I'm able to hit my goals faster. Maybe I can, you know, focus some of that other time elsewhere, right? So really come back to, like, what is the opportunity and what am I doing right now that helps open up those doors for those opportunities in the future? So definitely a big piece, definitely a costly mistake that I see within the food industry a lot, especially because it's not like, if we're going into retail specifically, there is a waiting period. If you go in and pitch your product to Mr. and Mrs. Retailer, even if it's a local shop, like, you can't go in next month typically and just like, hey, now do you want to take me? The next month, hey, now do you want to take me? Sometimes maybe we can do that, but it typically, that's not the case, right? So we really want to make sure that we're seizing those opportunities as best as possible. The second piece that I see that is really a costly mistake within the food industry is what we talked about yesterday. We talked about this yesterday or the day before, in terms of this play to win mentality versus a just for now mentality. We really want to go in with this play to win mentality as much as possible, because this just for now actually ends up being sometimes a lot more costly down the road. I was speaking with someone last week who they are revamping their entire product lineup, which means new ingredients, which means new packaging, which means they need all new UPC codes, they need new GS1 photos. They're revamping everything because they thought they went to market like just for now. They didn't actually do enough of this upfront piece to make sure that they had something really viable. And then they've needed to really pivot because retailers are continuously saying, no, I need you to be like this. No, I need you to be like this. No, I need you to be like this. And they stopped banging their head against the wall and they're like, okay, I think we need to go this way. And then we're going to be able to loop back to all these retailers and get in there, right? So this play to win versus just for now, we want to, Kathy, you asked a really great question yesterday about, well, what about just like, you know, leaping before you're ready, And there is this piece of progress over perfection. Yes, absolutely. But you want to make sure that you are doing all the pieces to truly win with what you're doing, right? That makes a huge difference. This, obviously, you can imagine going to reformulate your entire product is costly, right? They had pallets and pallets of product that they're not able to sell through because they hadn't done some of those upfront pieces. They're redoing all of their packaging, right? This is a big piece where I especially see play to win versus just for now. It can be really easy to be like, well, this packaging is okay just for now, but I know it's really not like my best packaging, and like down the road, I'll change it. Not only does that bring us to our first piece of lost opportunities a lot of time, it's also like you're maybe reinvesting in doing your packaging like 2 times, 3 times, 4 times with like complete rebrands. It's one thing if we need to do little tweaks here and there, that happens, especially at the early phases. But if you're needing to redo your packaging because you went out with something that isn't really going to sell your product to retailers and to consumers, the long-term investment of that, of needing to constantly redo your packaging, is incredibly expensive. And so it might seem like a short-term benefit, but the long term is you are spending way more money on these pieces, especially when it comes to packaging, and maybe we don't have the packaging that is the right fit. We want to get to a place where we can really step into this playing to win as much as possible so that we are getting better costing for pieces. You are not having to redo things over and over and over again. You're not losing out on these opportunities. And that really comes from this play to win mentality, right? And that kind of ties in also to the third piece, which is hanging on to old beliefs and old ways of being. This is why earlier this week we talked about what would future you do? Because oftentimes we are continuously making decisions the same way we've always made decisions. And then that gets us the same results that we have always had, right? So if you are committed, let's say, to always doing everything completely on your own, and you don't want to hire anybody, you don't want to outsource anything to anyone, you want to do it all your own, but at the same time, you have a goal to have time freedom, like they're not going to work, right? Those two counteract with each other. Absolutely, they totally counteract with each other, and it's not going to happen. So if you really do want to step into someone who is going to get a different result and have that different outcome of what you truly want, that requires us taking different actions right now to actually get there. We can start stepping into operating like that person, the food founder who is already in 100 stores, already in 1,000 stores, already in 5,000 stores. We can start to act like that food founder right now. Even from the very, very beginning stages, we can start to act like that food founder. And you bet we are going to get to those results faster because you're doing the actions that that CEO of that business would be doing, right? So if we want to get into more sales or more into more stores, but we're not willing to change how we sell, but we're not getting the sales results that we want, we can't really expect that we're going to get a different result other than like hoping and praying, which isn't a good business strategy. Right? We really want to be able to pivot as necessary. We want to, be flexible in how we are and be able to adapt those pieces, right? And this can be a hard piece. For instance, I was chatting with someone in the chat, even from this, where, I asked what the repeat purchase rate was. And the repeat purchase rate was quite low compared to industry standards. So we need to be willing at that point to say, hey, something might be wrong with my formula, or something might be wrong with where I'm selling, or something might be wrong with my price point. Something isn't ticking here because I'm way below industry standards of what repeat purchases should be. So you can take that and do something, or you can be like, no, everything's fine. But if you're taking that and being like, no, everything's fine, when you know it is not actually at the threshold that it should be to make that those ongoing sales and that growth easier, it's like you're hitting your head against a brick wall and being like, why am I not growing? Why am I not growing? Why am I not growing? When someone has put a mirror and been like, hey, we need to look at one of these things. One of these things is why you are not growing, right? So we need to be willing to look at things differently, to change our past beliefs, and to really adopt this future version of yourself in your decision making specifically, right? The fourth piece here, and actually, do I have six? I have six pieces. I added another one. So the fourth piece is not knowing your numbers. Not knowing your numbers, really key piece, guys. We need to know our numbers inside of our business, because that is what's going to enable you to grow, right? So numbers in terms of your margins, numbers in terms of your return on your investments for people, for different activities. As I shared, the investment for this, yes, it's $2,000 to join the inner circle. Do you have the opportunity to make, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars from that? Absolutely. That's a great ROI, right? I use the example of someone that I worked with who was running Facebook ads. And she was like, we came to one of our meetings and she was like, Ainsley, I'm running Facebook ads. I'm going to turn them off because they're not giving me the return that I want. And first I was like, oh, good for you. You're looking at return now, because you weren't before. You were just kind of going. But then when we dug deeper, we took a look and we realized, okay, maybe right now, the immediate return from your ad dollars isn't giving you the result that you want. Easy numbers, if you're spending $2, let's say she's making $1.50 back. She's like, this doesn't make sense. But what we did know is she had a very, very strong repeat customer base. And we knew, because we had data and we looked at it, how long these customers would stay with her. So even though that initial sale, she's only making $1.50, we knew that this audience was going to stay with her for 6 to 8 months and be buying on a monthly basis. Heck yeah, that's worth it. Like, that is a fantastic investment. And, versus she was looking high level at the numbers, was about to turn them off. And instead, once we looked deeper, she was able to be like, oh yeah, I better spend more on advertising because this is going to be really, really valuable for my business, right? So really understanding our numbers and getting comfortable with them. As I shared, I have seen a number of brands be on store shelves losing money with each and every product that they sell. That is a very, very painful place to be. And honestly, it bankrupts some companies when we don't have some of those numbers figured out up front. We want to make sure you can confidently go in with the right numbers so that your business can succeed and thrive and enable your growth, right? The fifth most costly mistake is not connecting in with your audience, right? Sometimes we feel like, especially in this industry, there's just like a whole bunch of things to do, and we just do them for the sake of doing them. Oh, I need to post 3 times on Instagram this week because I heard that I need to post 3 times on Instagram from someone. But you're posting content that maybe isn't connecting with people. Maybe it's not actually hitting the pain points of your audience, right? Maybe it's not actually speaking to what they really want, not solving that problem that we talked about on day 1. We want to do the pieces that are going to drive us the results inside of our business. So versus simply checking things off of our list and doing things for the sake of doing them, how do we get the most out of each and every single thing that we're doing? You can show up to a demo and just demo, or you can show up to a demo and like rock it at a demo. How do you get the most out of each and everything that you're doing? And part of that comes with tracking, right? It also comes with just knowing the pieces that are aligned to your business, knowing what is aligned to where the greatest return is for your business, right? If you're spending tons of time, again, our one resource that is not replenishable, tons of time on creating TikTok content, and it doesn't drive you a single sale, and you know that, I don't know, writing a newsletter can instantly generate 3 grand in your business. Go write a whole bunch of newsletters and drive more people to your email list, and screw TikTok, right? Focus on the things that are going to drive you results that make sense for your specific audience. We want to get really curious about our audience, and the more we know our audience, the more we can provide valuable content to them, right? And that does tie into, investing in the activities that drive the business forward as our 6th piece here. So that is a really, really key piece. Key piece to avoid is investing in pieces that don't drive the business forward, right? So if TikTok isn't driving sales for your business, that's what it's all about. Maybe we don't need to spend so much time there, right? Maybe that is not the key piece. I'm working with someone right now where we are reevaluating all of the stores that they're actually being sold in, because some of the stores, they're not selling very quickly. That's a problem. They're literally at risk of being delisted in some of those stores. Some of the other stores, they're selling incredibly well at, right? They have a broker that's just focused on putting them everywhere. And I'm coming in and saying, we're cutting these stores that we're not doing well in. We are shifting our focus to these other type of stores so that you can drive more results. But they're spending money. Getting into new stores, as a lot of you guys know, it costs money, right? Sometimes there's a pre-fill. Sometimes we're going to do demos. All of these different pieces. Let's focus our energy, our time, energy, and money on the places that are going to drive sales. A really interesting way to look at this is looking at, again, wearing that CEO hat in your business and coming in sometimes and auditing what you're doing in your business as that CEO, right? If you, let's say, some of you guys might be working for someone else right now. If your boss came in and was like, okay, how much time are you spending on doing this activity? And that activity wasn't driving anything to the bottom line, your boss might tell you to stop doing that and focus in on something else. Why aren't you focusing in on this instead? Right? And being our own business owner, we need to wear that hat. We need to have the CEO hat on, and then the employee, the doer hat. We need to wear both, especially if we are in the early stages and it's just us or it's a small team. We need to have both, and we need to have time dedicated to wear that CEO hat, to look at things from a high level and say, this isn't working. This is working. Why are we posting every day on social but not getting these results? And really try to problem solve. And then we need the employee version of ourselves that are going to go and do all the things, right? So really, really key. And we need to get comfortable with that, with stepping back, sometimes stepping up, like what you guys are doing this week. You're taking a step back, you're taking a step up and looking at your entire business and saying, okay, where can I optimize things? Where can I tighten things up? How can I get better at sales? What shifts do I need to make mentally to make my business grow the way I want it to grow, right? So those are kind of key mistakes that I do see food founders make. I speak with food founders every single week, and these are the key themes that come up over and over and over again. And so I encourage you guys to think about, am I showing up in any of these ways? Are there different ways that I can operate in my business so that I am playing to win, so that I am investing in pieces that are going to drive my business forward? So I am not hanging on to old beliefs, right? So I'm not missing these opportunities to grow my business. So those are all key pieces. I want to leave you guys with that today. If you join the Food Founder Inner Circle, obviously we're working on all these pieces together, right? The Food Brands That Sell course walks you through how to make sure you're avoiding all of these things. And in our ongoing sessions, there's an opportunity to work through all of these as well, right? So that is a big, big piece here. The Food Brands That Sell course is your blueprint, and the Inner Circle is your community to constantly get ongoing support inside of your business. We've got regular calls, we've got your private community, we've got all these different aspects to be able to help you inside your business so that you're not feeling alone. You're not trying to figure it out all alone. You have a community there, you have support system, you have all these different pieces to really help you grow your business. So you can join before Monday. Monday end of day enrollment closes. You can go to foodfoundersuccess.com, join in there. Would love to see you in there. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I see a question here. How much did it cost to fix that? Or was this sunk cost? Oh, for the packaging? Is that what you're asking here, for the packaging and the branding? Yeah, it's expensive to obviously redo. They're getting quotes right now. The company that had to like throw out everything, they're getting quotes right now on everything. It's going to be over a $10,000 investment for them for sure. Easily. They've got a ton of pieces that they're throwing out and revamping everything. Yes, Leslie, this was so helpful. Also, you've got lots to do. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Bailey signed up. I'm ready to get this party started. Awesome, Bailey. Yes, so excited to work with you and help you grow your business. And yeah, get this party started. It's going to be a fun 6 months helping you grow your business, helping you really make that impact. You've got a great product. I love what you're working on. So we're going to be able to make some great impact and have a lot of fun with that. And you're going to get that brand audit as well. So I will be connecting in with you to set up a time for us to go through that together. I'm going to get some of your materials from you, and then I'm going to dive in and share all of that with you. And then you'll be in our sessions next week. We have our planning session happening on Thursday. And then Friday, it is going to be a little bit party. It's going to be a little bit of a welcome party with everyone who's joined the membership. A little welcome party, bringing everyone together, get to know what to expect for the 6 months ahead, and also just get to know who you're going to be hanging out with week by week for the next 6 months. So that is it, guys. Oh man, that is it. That is the end of the week. This has gone by so fast. Replays are going to be up until the beginning of next week. So if you've missed any of them, definitely go in and grab those. Oh, we do also have a giveaway. I forgot to do the giveaway. We have a giveaway yesterday. I had asked the question, what would future you do differently to hit your goals? Bailey, I see that for you, that was like, heck yeah, I want support. I want the blueprint. That's awesome. That's great. Future you just stepped into that. Heck yes. Congratulations on that. Simone, I see make a goal. Sometimes I'm not sure where to begin. Yeah, 100%. A lot of people get that. It's like you have this big goal that you want, but then you're not really sure on all like the little goals sometimes to make that happen. That's actually why we do our annual planning session and why every single month we have planning and review inside the inner circle, because we don't just want a big goal. And at the end of the year, we're like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to hit it or not. We want each and every single month to be working towards that, right? Oscar, I saw focusing in on your brand. Karen, thinking outside of the box, look up local businesses on Facebook that are opening that fit the criteria of who I'm looking for. Yes, absolutely. That's a great piece. Julie, set goals, create steps to hit those goals. Yes, monitor and make corrections out there. Erin, focus in on branding. Vicky, I would tell my future self to get out of my head. Great piece. I think so many people deal with that. I'm comfortable speaking and interacting with people in person and getting them to try my product with no problem. Now I need to create an online presence and engage a new audience. Yes, absolutely. And Alexander, get a team and do more reach outs. Yes. All right. I'm going to do a little spin here. Oh, I know you saw here. You're like, no giveaway today? No, we're doing a giveaway. We're doing a giveaway. Don't worry. I just forgot for a sec. All right. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Drum roll. Drum roll. We need that drum roll there, Femi. Fumi. Simone. Congratulations, Simone. Simone, congratulations. Simone, I am actually going to give you, Simone, what was I going to give you? Because I know that the planning and tracking piece was a big piece for you. So I'm actually going to give you something custom, complete to that, because I saw that your big piece here was, for starters, making goals. Sometimes I'm not sure where to begin. I'm going to make sure that you get the Tag Money Map system that can be used specifically for hitting your monetary goals. as well as any other goals that you're working on. The Tag Money Map system is a system I've used for years. I really recommend it for people. I am going to get that over to you, Simone, to help you hit those goals that you have for the year to come. All right. Yes, congratulations, congratulations. Awesome. It's been such a great week hanging out, guys. Yes, you're so welcome. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to throw them in the Facebook group, and let's keep going. Let's keep that fire inside what we've got going on to grow our business. So let's keep it going. Again, if you want to join the Inner Circle, enrollment closes Monday, and today's the last day to get that audit. So congrats, Bailey, on getting that audit. I can't wait to help you inside your business. Have a beautiful weekend, everybody, and we'll see you soon inside the Facebook group.